Hey guys, it's Joy here. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so very much for stopping by and watching. Today I've created some Christmas decorations using canvases, alcohol inks, and die cuts. We're also going to make it feel very frosty with some glitter and mica flakes. So definitely hang on to the end so you can see how all of these come together. It really was super easy and a lot of fun. So here I have my canvas. Now this canvas is prepped. It's not like a raw canvas. I bought it at a craft store, and I am using some alcohol inks. I'm using two colors, Shell Pink and Pink Sherbet. I'm using my alcohol. I put that down first, and I put a lot of it down, and then I did just a little bit of my alcohol inks because I want this to be on the lighter side, not super dark. And what I'm going for here at the beginning is a diagonal, and then I can kind of work the edges of my alcohol inks. I just want to get it onto my canvas, and then I can kind of adjust how it looks. I am using a blow dryer. I will have everything listed and linked for you guys below, and I have it on the cool setting because if you have it on the hot, it's going to dry much faster. I'm just trying to move the alcohol ink around on my canvas, and of course you can use one of those little hand, like the things that clean your lenses. I can't even think what they're called, but they push air, but makes your hand really tired. So I really like the blow dryer for something like this. So now that I have the color laid down, I'm adding some alcohol just to the edges, moving that around, and as you can see, it's softening the edges just a little bit. And up here on the top, you're really going to see how that works. I did add a little bit more pink here. It was a little too light at the top for me, but you can see how those edges are getting softer, and you can break up harsh lines. Now, I do like the darker lines in the center, but as you can see here, it's kind of feathered out and softer on the outside. So there's no right or wrong to this, but it just makes the whole thing softer. And then the center part, again, has those lines where the darker ink has come together. It looks like veining, like marble kind of veining. I mean, I'm not saying this looks like marble, but you understand what I mean. And I think it looks really pretty. Also, if you want to dry it quicker in between applying alcohol or other alcohol inks, just switch it to the hot setting really quick and let that dry. But look at how pretty that turned out. Super simple. I think this one took me about 10 minutes to do, or 8 minutes to do just that part. Now I want to add gold. Normally I add gold on the inside, or on the inside when I'm adding my other parts of my alcohol ink, but I did not want to do that this time. This is Brass Pinata, and I am just splattering it on the background. Of course I have to add gold because I love gold. It's my favorite. And so I want a lot of splatters. I'm keeping it really to the areas where it's pink. If it goes a little bit over into the white area, that's not a big deal, but that's where I'm keeping it. Then I have my two small canvases here. These are probably 4x4. I'm betting that big one is probably 10x10, maybe 8x8, 10x10. I didn't measure it beforehand. I am so sorry. I'm going to do the same thing on these little ones, except for I just want the color centered because I'm going to put two big snowflakes, or one big snowflake. So I'm going to do two of these little canvases, one snowflake in the center of each one. So again, I just laid down the color. Now I'm adding it to the outside so I can soften that line so it doesn't just look like a big blob, and letting some of that pink reach out. Again, this is really light. That's how I want it to be. Obviously you can use any color. I don't know why I'm into pink for Christmas this year, but I've done a couple cards that are pink, and I'm into this pink. But as you can see, it's softening the edges and kind of reshaping this blob in the center. And you want to let your alcohol sit on the alcohol ink long enough for it to grab the color and move it around. So if it's not moving it a lot, add a little bit more, let it sit just a little bit longer before you start pushing it with some air. But now you can see that you're getting some of that veining in the center, and look at how pretty that looks. So I'm going to finish up this one last little spot, I believe. making sure that with that snowflake I can see the pink from behind it. Let's do our last little canvas here. One dot of two of those colors, the shell pink and the pink sherbet. This is Tim Holtz Ranger's alcohol inks. So now you have that dark color. Let's soften it again by adding the alcohol to the outside edges where it can grab some of that color and I can push it around with my blow dryer. And again, this just shapes it differently. And then it leaves all of that veining in the center. And as you saw when I first put the color down and I'm moving it back and forth, I'm also creating some of that veining at the very beginning so that way it doesn't all go away. Let's do this last little side here. And then I'm going to do some splattering, of course, on these with the brass piñata. Now there's also another color that I'm going to bring in and I'll show you, and I had it out on my work surface and kind of forgot about it at first, so I'm glad I remembered because it's super shiny. It is Marabou Alcohol Ink in Rainbow, and it is gorgeous. Now I am splattering the whole background of this with the gold. And then let's use, I'm going to bring this in. Now here is this rainbow. It's so shimmery, you guys. And I'll show you here in just a second. I'll pull it up close to the camera. But it is absolutely stunning. Again, keeping it into the area where the pink is. But look at that. Oh, it's so, so pretty. And then I'm going to do the same thing for these little guys. And then something I did today that I've not ever done, and I know that Tim Holtz, you know, shows you how to do it, and I just totally forgot about it, is we're going to custom color our rock candy glitter and our Mica Flakes, our distress, both of those are distress products from Tim Holtz through Ranger ink. And so we're going to make those custom. Okay, I have some double-sided adhesive sheets from Fawn. They are 6 inches wide. I didn't really worry about how long they were. I just cut my cardstock 6 inches wide. I'm going to peel back one side of the release paper and adhere my cardstock to this because we are going to cut snowflakes out and add glitter to one side. So this side right here that I flipped up has the other adhesive side. Now, here's the mistake I made, and so don't do this. I used my 110-pound cardstock, which was too thick, and it took me a long time to get my snowflakes die cut. So use a thinner piece of cardstock. So this sheet here, there was 3 sheets in the pack. I did another one with my 80-pound cardstock, and it die cut my snowflakes much better because I die cut them all twice. These snowflakes are from scrapbook.com. These are fantastic. I love this. There's big ones and smaller ones. I love all the different shapes of these, but I will say make sure you use thinner cardstock because I was here a long time trying to just gently get these out. I was running them through my large platinum, my black platinum die cut machine, my platinum 6, the large platinum. I finally put a paper shim in just to help. But once I switched to the other thinner paper, then it was thinner cardstock. It was much easier. So now I'm going to peel off my release paper, and I am using the distress glitter, the clear rock candy glitter, and I'm going to sprinkle this on top. I'm doing this on a piece of scratch paper, that way I can dump the excess glitter back into the jar. And I'm just gently rubbing it in to the glue. I want to make sure I have, or to the adhesive, I want to make sure that I have it everywhere. And what's really funny is I did not notice this until I was taking photos. I think it's the other snowflake that I left part of the release paper on, and I just didn't even notice. Obviously my mind is elsewhere right now, but it was so funny. Anyways, I'm going to start doing this with all of these little ones. And then I found a way that is also easy. Once I had some little piles here, I would take some of the other ones after the big ones, and I would just flip it upside down, so sticky side down, into the glitter, which I'll do here in just a little bit, which actually went, just as fast. I don't think either way is wrong. And I'm doing this and putting it back in so I can remember the layout. I also did take a picture because I didn't want to forget. But I think here's where I got smart and thought, I'm just going to lay this face down. Yeah. And just dipping it in the glitter. And this double-sided adhesive sheets really picks up that glitter nicely. Now I'm adding some foam adhesive, my goodness, behind my snowflakes. These are small circle ones. I'm cutting them in half. They're from scrapbook.com because I really need some tiny pieces. And I am using my tool-in-one from Spellbinders to add these little half pieces under the arms of the snowflakes. I just wanted to make sure that this had some dimension. You could also die cut multiple of the snowflakes and stack them. But I was sick and tired of die cutting these snowflakes because of that thick cardstock issue at the beginning, and it took me forever, and I just didn't want to do it again. So, but look at how pretty that is. Remember, we still have to add more frosty, glimmery, shimmery goodness to this, so definitely hang on. Peeling off that release paper, I'm going to center this snowflake right there. And aren't these big snowflakes just gorgeous? I love these so much. Again, these are from scrapbook.com. So I'm going to pop up, I think I popped up 3 or 4 of these, and then the rest of them I adhered directly to the background. So once again, trimming down some of those pieces, getting them in place. And then I'm going to use my Barely Art liquid glue for the rest of them. Okay, let's finish these with a little bit of the liquid glue. I love these snowflakes. I think they're so, so pretty. And they're all glittery. Look at how pretty that is. It's all shimmery and glittery. I love this. Okay, so in my bowl I have some Mica flakes, and I believe I used the shell pink. I may have used a darker one. I may have used the pink sherbet. Either way, you could use whatever color you wanted to use. I stirred it up a little bit, and then I just used my hands because it was easier to kind of get it everywhere. And I just want to have little areas of the colored and the regular Mica flakes kind of all over the background. And I don't know if there's a better way to do it, but I did it kind of, I mean, it was controlled messy, but it was kind of messy. So I'm just using some liquid glue. I'm putting it in spots all over the background, just sprinkling some of this on. Once I'm all done, then I can let it dry. I think I did a few other spots off camera. After I was done with this, I just went and made some lunch and came back to it, and it was dry because this Barely Art liquid glue dries really, really quick. But I'm alternating, well, not really alternating all of them, but I am using both the clear and the pink ones. The pink adds just a little something extra, but this is so pretty and so shimmery. And to me, it makes it feel frosty. And that's kind of the look I'm going for. And I think you kind of get that feel with the pink as well. I'm going to do the same thing for the 2 small canvases. Like I said, I believe these are 4x4 or 5x5. But they're small. You can get these at any craft store, Michael's, Joann's, probably Hobby Lobby, I would bet. So here's this last one. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of this on. And then, like I said, I'm going to let that dry. It probably took me about a half an hour for lunch. Okay, on another sheet of that sticky background, I am using Lawn Fawn's Giant Let It Snow die. I'm going to die cut that so I can have the sticky side for glitter. And then I believe I die cut 4 more from just regular white cardstock. I want this to be really thick on the front of our largest canvas. So I'm just going to tape this in place and die cut multiples of these. And remember, I said at the beginning we are going, or somewhere at the beginning, we're going to do a custom color with the glitter as well. So let's use our liquid glue and get these layers together. I love this Let It Snow. It's a good size. It actually is going to fit perfect on this background. I was debating whether to use something like this or use my Cricut and Creative Fabricas. They've got lots of files that you can cut but I remembered that I had this from Lawn Fawn and I wanted it to say let it snow, and it just fits perfectly over there. So let's glue our last layer, which has the adhesive on the top. Let's sprinkle in our glitter, a little bit of the shell pink, and I actually probably should have made this a little bit darker. It was on the lighter side. It looks darker in the bowl, but once I put it on the Let It Snow die, it was much lighter. So I would say go a lot darker than I did here if you want to have a darker die cut. Not that it was a big deal because it's the same colors, so it totally worked. I'm going to sprinkle this on, but one thing that I did add was some of the Mica Flakes to this as well, which really kind of brought that darker pink into it. But I didn't want this to be white on the white canvas. It needed to stand out just a little bit. So it looks really light here. Let's see how much lighter it looks than in that bowl. I'm going to adhere it to the background, of course, with liquid glue. I don't want this to go anywhere. You guys could also probably use some hot glue if you wanted, but this stuff dries super quick. So I'm going to get that in place, make sure it's straight. Then I'm just adding dots of glue to the top of this so I can sprinkle on those Mica Flakes that I have. And they're just to the side of me off camera, but I had leftovers from the background. But I'm going to put this on, and then I just tip it over onto a piece of scratch paper to dump all this off. I think I may have forgotten to mention that earlier. Just onto a scratch piece of paper to dump it off, but look at how pretty that is. I love the Mica Flakes on the Let It Snow sentiment. Look at how shimmery, shiny this background is with all the splatter, the Mica Flakes, the glitter. Let's look at these little guys. Look at how stunning. I just love how this turned out. It turned out so much prettier than I thought it was going to. And here's this one last guy. And then this is done. I hope you guys really liked this project. Thank you so very much for stopping by and watching. I appreciate all of your support, and I hope you guys have a really wonderful day. Bye.